Hi everybody, it's Kira here at Unfurl, and today's video is about the difficulties we can encounter on our path of awakening, or the difficulties that we face on the path of healing childhood trauma. And I'm gonna put them in there together, the awakening and healing trauma. I kind of suspect they're really the same thing, which is this coming into being with what is. So I work as a psychotherapist, and I am also on my own path of healing, and I wanted to really put this video in the framework of what I have discovered as I've gone along. It is stuff that I see my clients working with and working through, but I feel it's always easier for me to come at this from my own personal experience, because it just makes more sense when I'm coming at it from a place that I know, as opposed to what I see in others. So the first difficulty that I've had on my path of healing childhood trauma was I didn't even know that I'd experienced childhood trauma. I didn't have a big, car crash event. I didn't have the loss of someone really dear to me. So none of those big traumatic life events as people see them. But experiences happened when I was young that left me with a fractured sense of self. I didn't know that had happened to me. I didn't know that because of how my childhood unfolded, that I was like a shattered mirror that had smashed into all these pieces, these fractured pieces, without a core sense of self, that I had become these jigsaw puzzle pieces that I had put together based on what other people needed me to be or wanted me to be, that they seemed to like, that got me attention, that got me love, that got me validation. So all these little pieces of the puzzle, I had to unconsciously as a child figure out the best way to be in the world in order to get my needs met, and then cobble these pieces together into something that resembled a sense of self. Except it was never based on my true self. It was based on an illusion. It was based on what the person I felt I had to be in the world, that I should be in the world. So I didn't even know that had happened. And I don't believe many people even know that that's happened, that they've cobbled together a picture of themselves that is they're working with to try and get through life. And then somehow it's not really working and life feels really difficult, but they don't really understand why. And they don't realize they've experienced trauma. So how can we even begin to work on it if we don't even know it's happened? So that's the first difficulty that I have encountered on this path of healing. The second one is, I've even written notes now because I'm trying to make my videos a little bit more orderly. The second, once we do figure out, I've experienced trauma. We may end up in therapy at some point because the wheels are coming off so badly that we have to try and sort something out. And so we may come across, or we may read something, or somebody may say something, and we kind of realize, that's what happened to me. Oh, this is called trauma. Okay, so I have to heal this trauma. All right then. Well, that sounds like a good idea. And we don't realize that when we're feeling our big feelings, like somebody has annoyed us so much, or we're so irritable, or we're so spiky, I'm really talking about myself here. I don't know what your ways of managing life are, but whatever way your stuff comes up in life, oh, deep despair, or whatever it is, complete shutdown, oh, going into the numb place, whatever it might be that happens for you and in you, we may not realize, even though we now have the sort of mental concept that we've experienced trauma and that we need to heal the trauma, we don't realize then when our feelings are happening that this is the trauma response has been activated, that it's been activated in us, it's awake in us, these feelings are happening, that this is the stuff that is happening in response to the trauma, that this is the stuff that we have to feel in order to heal the trauma. There's a sort of a disconnection from knowing logically that, oh, I've experienced trauma and I need to sort it out, to being in the middle of feeling stuff when our intellect kicks in and goes, well, that's because that person's really annoying. And if only they wouldn't chew so loudly, or if only, people wouldn't get in my space so much, or if only I could lose, 5 kilos, then I'd feel so much better. So our minds kick in with solutions to how we can escape from the feelings that are coming up in us. So we get caught up in the thoughts of how to get away from the feeling without even realizing there's a feeling happening that we're trying to get away from. So that's the second challenge on the path of healing trauma. It's to recognize the feelings as they're happening. And then the third one is, even if we have the mindfulness to go, oh, here's difficult feelings. Oh, this is part of my trauma response activated here. Like, even if we had the presence of mind to say that, the feelings are so awful to tolerate that, and we've been jumping away from them for our whole lives, that actually staying long enough with the feelings, tolerating them for long enough for them to move through us and head on their way, we don't really even have the capacity to do that. We haven't learned the skills of comforting ourselves while the big feelings are there. So we might want to stay with them, but our mind might go, but if I just have a cigarette, I'll feel a bit better. Or if I just eat that chocolate that's in the fridge, it's been there for 5 years or something, and the kids won't eat it. If I just eat that, I'll feel a bit better. So our minds will start to madly grasp onto ways of managing these unbearable feelings. So it is so hard to tolerate them. So the fourth is, so we know we've got trauma. We're recognizing that the feelings come up are the trauma response. We're willing to sit with them. We know that they're really, really difficult, but we're willing to do it, and we're primed and we're ready, but we may not even have the time and space to sit with these big, heavy, overwhelming feelings. Life might be so hectic and busy and demanding that we've just got to kind of keep going, that we may not even have time to fully be with them. That especially, well, look, I can't say especially, but certainly in my circumstance, I'm a mum, and my children are, still quite young. So there's this never-ending requirement to be doing, and it makes it very hard to just sit and feel my feelings, just lie in bed and go, oh, this is really heavy, or whatever it is. There just mightn't be the time to just do that, the time and the space. And then on top of this feeling of a feeling, then I find myself coming in with irritability and spikiness and resentment because I can't just get on and sit with my feelings. So now another layer of feeling comes in on top of the feelings that are already there. So yeah, time and space to sit with them, what a luxury. And And then, you know, I think of Eckhart Tolle, and he would say, but, you know, half of the problem that we have, well, actually not half the problem, he probably says the whole problem that we have is our resistance to what is. And I get it. It's like, okay, I've got this big feeling and I want to sit with it, but I don't really have the quiet space that I need to sit with it. And now I'm getting irritable about that. So now I'm meant to be in a place of acceptance of having feelings that I can't fully just sit with, and also sit with this spikiness and irritability. Oh, I don't know. Look, honestly, I'm not here to tell you that I've cracked the code, because I really haven't. But there are layers and layers as I kind of move through bits and pieces. There's bits that are kind of coming into the picture, and I'm just trying to navigate them as best I can. And when I do have a few answers, then I put them out here in a video, and maybe they're useful. But right now, trying to feel big feelings and meet the demands of life, I do find it very tricky. It's very, very tricky. So what else have I got to say on the subject? Is there anything else even to say about this? Oh, yeah. So basically about a year ago, I had come to land in a place of the bliss state, this really awake, blissful, at one with the universe, feeling the energy, you know, all that stuff. You know, I was in that place, and it felt like it would last forever. And then, like, within a matter of, you know, I thought this is it. Oh, right, this is the awakening process. Oh, wow, this is kind of cool. And then over the next, whatever, 6 months or so, all this stuff started coming out of the woodwork, which was this turmoil, this sense of rising panic, and this fear of oh my God, am I going to survive this? And, like, honestly, chaos, pandemonium, confusion. It was like being caught up in a washing machine, getting spun around in all this messiness, and then kind of settling a little bit, and then the next wave of something would come through, which was really heavy, and despair and hopelessness, and what's the point of life? Life has no meaning. And honestly, I kind of was able to vaguely name it. I was like, oh my God, here we are back in the dark night of the soul. Haven't I done this already? Haven't I done the dark night of the soul already? Why am I doing it again? That awakening thing that I thought was happening, well, that was obviously me just fooling myself. It wasn't really happening at all. And then I have kind of realized, even as I say this, I'm kind of censoring myself, that this healing of the trauma, the deeper layers of the trauma that I've been working with, that I've been holding and carrying, the panic, the fear, the terror, the loss of control, the confusion, the chaos, all that stuff, it couldn't really have moved into my awareness if I hadn't, first of all, connected in with the stillness, the vastness, the peaceful, loving sense of oneness that I am. That somehow, and I've got to go with this for now, right? I believe that the reason this dark night of the soul experience has really tipped me over into the madness of myself is because the awakeness in me, I was in connection with the awakeness in me. Does that make sense? And that is the part of me that has been able to invite the chaos through. Come on in, chaos. Come on now, come up out of the unconscious. All that terror and panic that you felt as a child. Little Kira, let it come. Come on now, let's be having it. So there is this container of awareness that has been awakened, that is holding this chaos as it passes through. And that while I've been caught up in the turmoil of it, that I haven't been fully in connection with the vastness that is holding this chaos. But somehow I'm sensing that the chaos is being held, the chaos in me is being held by the divine light that I am. It is really messy. It is really messy. You know, when you look on videos or you see some little article and it says, how to heal your trauma in 5 easy steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bullet points of how you're going to sort it out. And it all says, or how to heal anything, how to fix anything, you know. And we feel like we're going to, you know, tick off these bullet points and that somehow we're going to sort the thing out and it'll all be grand, then we'll be fine. But this is not like that at all. It is a messy, messy, messy business. It's not, you know, linear and orderly. It's like total madness. Total madness. So, God, yeah, this is the difficulty we can face on our awakening journey. The journey of healing our trauma. It is flipping messy. And some little strand of us has either got to be keeping an overview of everything, or else we're working with a therapist who can hold the light of hope for us while we go through this turmoil without knowing when we're going to come out the other side of it. And working with a therapist, you know, a therapist will say, as mine have said to me and as I've said to my clients, I have faith in this process. I have faith in what's unfolding now. So even though you may be lost in it, and even though at times I'm lost in it, when we have that supportive observer who is holding the space for us to go through this process, it really makes it so much safer. We're contained. And I think that is so, so important for this messy business of moving from a place of darkness where we don't even know that we've experienced trauma, a shattering of our self, our true nature, through all the different stages into the actual feeling of it, being able to tolerate it, stay with it, because it's so chaotic. And this observer, this therapist person, or our higher self, if that who is active in us, can just hold the hope, hold the light, keep the faith while we go through this process with this sort of trust. Some part of us, I believe it, if we're doing this work, if we're on this journey, there is some part of us that knows, that trusts, this is the way. This is the only way. You can't go over it. You can't go under it. You have to go through this. Oh, listen. I don't know where you are in your journey right now. I don't know if any of this will resonate, but all I can say is, just keep going. Just keep going. Because I really have faith. I have faith in this process. I have faith. I hope you do too. All right. Oh, yes. And if you're enjoying these videos, please like and subscribe. All right. Lots and lots and lots of love. Bye for now.